And we are rolling. Episode 2. Pretty excited. Today we got Julian David, New Zealand speed climber, pretty good mate of mine as well.
Read me my accolades, boy.
World chair, yeah.
Just glaze over all the good stuff. Damn.
Yeah, but no, it should be a good chat because a lot of the stuff we've done together.
Yeah.
But yeah, how are you going at the moment? What's the
Good, just training, because as you know, it's just heaps of competitions at the moment.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, obviously we were in Bali. We went to China, about 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
3 weeks ago. And we competed there, competed in Bali as well. First World Cup there. How'd you find those comps?
China wasn't too good. Super controversial. I don't really like China though. I'm sure there's nice parts to it, but the places we went, it's not like a tourist place. I don't know. It just wasn't nice. I just don't like being there. The comp was it was what it was. First comp of the season. But I much preferred Bali. You got to go to Bali. That was sick. I loved that.
Yeah, I found China pretty crazy. We literally saw a lamb get slaughtered in the street. They were breaking its legs and stuff. And then they saw us see it, and then they were moving mopeds.
I didn't know you were going to bring that up. Yeah, that was crazy. We just walked out onto the street and we just see this guy hacking.
Yeah,
and I was
cut off its balls and stuff.
That was I swear I had a nightmare of that. Literally that night, I was imagining just going around slaughtering.
Yeah. No hate on China though. They make all our products. So
yeah, they make all our money.
Yeah, no, I'm proud of China.
Your 1% heritage? Or do you have more? You have more?
No, I'm probably quarter China. Oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna cut this out or not. It's a good start. Anyway, Julian's also known for his jumping. Nearly day 100, eh?
Yeah, today is actually day 100.
Day 100?
Yeah.
Maybe jump on this table.
Yeah, I could do actually, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be pretty sick. So known for the jumping, the speed climbing. What got you into the climbing?
When I was at intermediate, I fell out of a tree and the teacher was like, bro, what are you doing? We have a speed wall or a climbing wall.
Yeah.
And I just started naturally climbing there during lunch and stuff, and eventually Ames came around and I was like, well, I'll go for climbing then. And I ended up coming third, I think, without any training. So then I was like, oh, maybe I should train it. Yeah, Ames Games came third. I had no training or anything. And I was like, oh, maybe I should. And that's where I went to Rocktopia and met Rob. And he's my coach now, and he's basically got me to where I am today, but he obviously built the speed wall, and so one thing led to another, and then I became a speed climber, and then 3 years into the program did pretty well, so.
Yeah, no, Rob's a mad dog. And you started doing boulder and lead first.
Yeah, I started off doing boulder and lead. I was alright at it. I wouldn't say I was insane, I was going to national competitions, and it was alright, but then as soon as I started doing speed, it was the first comp, it was already a national record. I was alright, what's next? Went to Aussie and won their nationals, and then went to Youth Worlds and got my ass absolutely kicked by Sam.
Yeah.
He did 5.3 and I was putting down a 7.6 second run.
Yeah, I remember watching that though, and you slipped a lot. So
yeah, and also the beta wasn't very optimal. I was skinny as well though, holy. I was so skinny when we started the program. When we look at the photos of where we started compared to where we are now, it's I can't believe it.
No, it's so different. So yeah, that is going back to our first year. Obviously, we were going through some rough training situations, I guess.
Yeah, well, he had envisioned us doing 100 runs a week, which I guess for people who don't know, 100 runs up the speed wall is in a week is a lot. That's hard to do. So I reckon starting off like that, we were shit. It was a bit of a reality check, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
And then to change the program to make it work for us.
Yeah, I wasn't there for the first session, but you were trying to do 5 runs in a row.
Yeah, it was. Didn't go to plan, let's just say that. And the fingers was probably the worst part because a lot of people don't know as well that the holds in the wall, it's all sandpaper. So when you do runs like that, it just peels away the skin. It's something you just have to get used to, which I am now. But, back then it was you're bleeding from your fingertips and you're bro, I can't do this, I can't even climb.
That is the worst part. I've actually got a bit of blistering or scarring from it. I was bleeding from the tips, when did we do the session? Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it is so painful.
Yeah, people don't realize
that
like
is underrated.
you're climbing so hard and so fast that you're actually just your fingertips are just smacking the wall constantly. You might be able to see there's like blood on the tips of my fingers there. Like I have calluses on the tips of my fingers here. Like I can put a knife into it and I can't feel anything because it's like so solid and hard on the tips of my fingers now.
Yeah.
Just from the repetitiveness of it.
And your toe condoms as well.
Hey, it's not what it sounds like. It's just a little sleeve I put on my toe because when you kick the wall, it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Can we swear?
Yeah.
I'll
I'll
like
bleep
a
it.
bitch
Maybe.
when you kick the wall. Oh my god, that sucks. So I have little sleeves on my toes, like little silicone things I put on my toes.
Yeah, I remember the top of my toe bleeding quite a bit. The first European circuit we did, and that was.
I think the toes is worse than the fingers, to be honest. Like that sucks. Like you just feel like you can't put any pressure through your foot anymore.
Yeah, the tape does pretty well with your fingers, I reckon.
Yeah.
But your toe, I've used them once.
You didn't like them?
No, I lost it, and then I didn't want to use other people's. It was kind of rank.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
They just get like, it's weird. I don't like it, but I don't like thinking about it. But they're useful. They were all good.
Yeah. But we'll go back to the first nationals. That was. What were you running then? What was your?
The first record I set was 8.74 seconds, and that was
that was the New Zealand record.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn.
And I just turned 17, like literally a few days before the comp.
Yeah, and that's when the program started. So me, Julian, and Ned were the three guys that made it, and then we had Sarah, Abby, Georgia, who made it for the females.
Yeah.
And then Rob was the coach.
Yeah.
And then from there, the program started, and that was 2022.
Yep.
Yeah, and then that year, we'll go through a few of the comps.
Yeah, so obviously we had the Aussie Nationals.
You blitzed them there.
Yeah.
We were both rocking the mullets.
Oh, the mullets were so bad.
And the oak chalky milk, that's where we...
Oh yeah, the chalky milk, that's when we got into that.
Yeah.
I got to start a list, like ranking countries with the best chalky milk.
Yeah.
Korea would be up there.
But yeah, won the Aussies, that was first one. And then it was Youth Worlds, was it?
Yep. So we basically just did the Aussie comp, came home, trained heaps, went to Dallas to do the Youth Worlds there, got pretty obliterated. I came like 24th, I think.
Yeah, I got clapped as well. I came 28th.
And then, it was our first World Cup. So
Yeah,
we were
Indo.
17, we went to Indo for our first World Cup, yeah. Got my ass handed to me there as well.
Yeah,
I
man.
did like a 7.5 second run or something.
Going from juniors to opens was pretty insane.
Yeah, that was crazy. And we couldn't travel with Rob because he didn't have his...
COVID
because of
pass.
COVID. He didn't get his, what's it called? The
injection.
Yeah, he
thingy.
didn't have the injection, so he couldn't travel. That was so dumb. So we didn't even have our coach at our first World Cup. That was a bit rough.
Yeah. And then the year after, because this program, like initially was for the Paris Olympics. And then, so the next year was the Olympic qualifying year.
Yeah.
We got through nationals. He set some more records.
I think I did a 6.8, 6.7. Can't really remember. What's that?
Yeah.
4. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. So it was like a really fast time, like then.
Yeah.
And then, what was the first World? Korea was the first World Cup.
Yep.
And then ran another PR there.
Yep, I did 6.4 there. 6.4.
6.4. And then the Euro circuit. So I wanted to see your thoughts of staying, because we were away for like 3.5 months, or nearly 4 months, eh?
It was a long time, yeah.
Do you like find any like mental battles staying away for that long? Like,
well, it was the first time I'd been like away from like home for that long. So in that sense, yeah, it was. I didn't really get that homesick, to be honest, and it was vibes. It was sick, like staying in the places with you. It was so fun. It just got a bit annoying at times because you're with the same people all the time, and they have dietary requirements, and it just gets on your nerves, bro. I couldn't make anything I wanted to. I'm already not a good cook, so then you throw into the mix that I can't use like cheese and meat, and it's like, well, I'm down to just eating seeds and that's it. So I got pretty frustrated in that sense, but apart from that, I was like, fine, I loved it.
a few people didn't like eggs either.
Oh. They keep going on about the pasta.
Oh yeah, man. We like There's calories.
Yeah, but I made too much pasta one night, so we just had leftovers, put it in the bowl, left it in
Our room.
Yeah, just to snack on whenever we wanted, and then we brought it downstairs, and the girls were going crazy, like, oh, you can't eat that. And it got a little bit moldy.
Yeah, it went a bit blue. Started chucking it at Abby, one of the other.
Yeah, but it's blue cheese, right? Like, cheese is moldy, you know? All bacteria is good for you.
Yeah. Boosting that immune system, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I remember my first night cooking, because we all had to go in rotation.
That's right, yeah.
7 of us.
Yep.
So, yeah, 6 of us. And I think my first meal was so bland. Like, I had too much rice. And like, it was so hard not cooking with meat because that was just the flavour.
That's everything you need. That is just the meat, the mince. Yeah. But then they couldn't eat it.
It got better. But we did three comps. We had Vila.
Yep.
Got another PR there.
Yeah, I did the first ever sub-6 there, actually.
Yeah.
So I did 5-9.
First sub-6 in Oceania, right?
Yeah, that was an Oceania record as well, yeah.
Did some commentating, I remember that.
Oh, you remember, yeah?
Yeah, with Matt Grom.
Oh, yeah, that's right, afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, that was sick.
But I'd also sublexed my shoulder in that comp, and that's the first and only like real climbing injury I've had. Was I was doing this move and my foot slipped and all my weight went onto one shoulder and the shoulder popped out and I was like, oh crap, like what do I do now? And I just palmed the wall and popped it back in and kept going. And that was in my qualifying, so then I was like...
No, wasn't that in your practice?
Yeah, that was the practice that happened. It was before the qualifying, and I sat in the car, like I cried, like I was like, I really wanted to get sub-6. And I was like, oh, it was not good. And then Rob came and got me and had this little pep talk and straightened my shoulder up and then ended up doing the first ever sub-6 in comp.
So you ran subs, like 5.8 was your first run or second?
5.8 was the first one.
Okay, because like for those that don't know the comp format, you get 2 practice runs, which don't matter at all, on either lane, because you got A and B, and then it's just the test wall. And then qual 1 and 2 is the laps where you lay down the fastest time, or the fastest time you can, and then the top 16 go through to finals.
Yeah.
And what was called 2, like 5, you ran another sub-6, eh?
Yeah, I did actually. I slipped and I ended up doing like a 5.9, so it wasn't as quick, but it was still back-to-back sub-6, which I was pretty stoked with.
Yeah, that was a pretty sick venue. It was like up in the mountains.
Yeah, that was cool there.
I didn't run very well. I slipped at the top on both runs and would have gone... I was running around like 7.3 then. I think I would have ran like 7 flat. But we had like heaps other comps to go to next, because we had, Chamonix was the next one?
Yep. Chamonix was... I always find that wall hard because it's like slippery. Well, it's like when it was in the sun, it's like real easy to slip. I still managed to get a PB there, I think, but it was by 0.01 or something. Like it was 5.8, I don't know, 5 compared to 5.86. So it was like basically equal to PB.
Yeah, Chamonix was sick. Like it's in France, in the mountains.
Yeah,
got Mont Blanc in the background. 38 degrees, I think it was. Eh?
Yeah, it was ridiculously hot. Yeah.
17,000 spectators as well.
That was crazy. I couldn't believe that because it's like a climbing town, so everyone just comes down to the town square to watch, and it's a sick atmosphere. Yeah,
it's like the home of climbing. Eh?
That's like the one place if I had to choose to make finals is there. I haven't made finals there yet.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Julian's part French as well. I give him a lot of crap for it. But.
Yeah, too much. Surrendering bullshit.
Yeah.
He's just jealous.
Maybe. No, French is so good at everything, it kind of annoys me a bit. Like even dodzing, man, like we were doing it on the way over here. Like the top 3 out of the 4 dodges are French.
Yeah. French is good, man.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Next comp was Bern, first world champs and only world champs me and you have done.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. It was in Wankdorf Stadium.
Bro.
Wankdorf?
The stadium, the club is called Young Boys. Yeah. And the stadium is called Wankdorf.
Yeah.
I found that unreal. I couldn't believe that.
A great venue, massive stadium.
That was huge, yeah, that was sick. I think it was like an ice hockey stadium, like it was, and then they converted it into the climbing. That was sick though. Yeah.
And then we go back to South Korea on the way home. So it's the second time that year for Youth Worlds.
Yeah.
And something special happened there.
Yeah, I won it.
Bro.
But it was no,
Youth World Champ.
it was like the day before though. Do you remember it almost got cancelled because it was raining? Like it got rained off. The morning of that comp, they literally had blow dryers and were blow drying the wall and the holds and everything. Like it was crazy. That was a crazy comp. I got a bone to pick with that though, because like getting there, we were traveling by ourselves, just me, you, and Abby. We traveled by ourselves from Europe to Dubai to Korea. As soon as we got there in the hotel, we had to be with like the New Zealand team and like stay with the people there, basically looking after the New Zealand team. But we couldn't like leave the building at all or anything. And I found that so annoying, like not being able to do what we want, even though we traveled all that way.
Yeah, hopefully the president's watching this because I don't. I've climbed in New Zealand because I didn't like it either. Like I was like 18 at the time and I couldn't leave the hotel without.
Yeah, well, like I kind of understand because I had to look after all these younger kids as well. But like we literally traveled by ourselves to get there. We can leave and get food. Oh, and the other thing was the food, because we don't want to get food poisoning. We had Subway every day, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, pretty much for like 3 or 4 days, just because we didn't want to risk getting food poisoning. Holy.
Yeah, it was a cool place. I did really like Korea, and then the wall was pretty wet, but like you seem to I saw you every time you came out you would test the texture rate, so it's like that's not a normal ritual for you.
No, it was just because I knew everyone was slipping and everyone was complaining about it, like when they were coming back into the tunnel. So I was like, oh, okay, so I felt the wall just where the tamal was, and sure enough there was like no texture, there was water on the wall. Like when people are walking out, they're getting water on their shoes and it gets on the wall, so that's why everyone was slipping. So I just felt like a little bit higher, there was texture, so I just smeared a little bit higher on the tamal and it was fine. I never slipped the tamal apart from the last run.
And then, but you got there in the end. The other dude slipped as well, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, both slipped. Winning Youth Worlds with a 9-second run, that was crazy. That was like, that was shambles.
Insane to see. And then got to sing the national anthem.
Yeah.
It's always kind of awkward.
It's always awkward because you stand on the podium, even like at the Oceanias, you're just standing there and they play it for like, a minute and a half or something.
Yeah.
You're just standing there, you don't know what to do, you're just kind of looking around awkwardly. No, it's like a cool tradition, but like make it a bit shorter maybe.
Yeah. And that kind of ended our 3.5 or 4 months split.
Stint overseas, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy actually. I was definitely getting homesick by the end of it. I think like 4 months was quite a
long
while.
time, yeah.
Yeah, and then the comp was like Aussie, Oceania. Oh, the Olympic qualifier.
Yeah.
Was the next start.
Yeah.
You were a bit sick before that, eh?
Yeah, I was real sick actually. I was like the day before the comp, I was like getting needles. I was getting like, I don't even know what you call it. It was like electric therapy or something. Like it was like getting a massage without like electrically. It was weird. I don't know how to explain it. I had like these sleeves go onto my arm, and then there was like these 2 connectors going to this machine, and you wet them, and it's like a low vibration, tingling feeling going up your arm. Yeah, I had everything going on. I was like only eating like soups and stuff, no dairy or anything, just so my immune system would be like pristine, easy for it to, manage. But then the cold just didn't go away. So I was on the day, I was actually sick. Not coughing heaps, but like sore throat and like blowing my nose and stuff. But yeah, it worked out fine though. Yeah. Just comp nerves, like you say, it just takes over completely. Like I just forgot I was sick and just got on with what I was doing, did my rituals, and it was fine. Yeah,
I was sick like 3 days prior as well, and then I drank like so much Barocca.
No, yeah,
I think I had like
that's your secret sauce. 5
tablets worth of Barocca.
And you're only supposed to have like one.
Oranges,
it like tells you can't have more than like 1 or 2 a day, doesn't it? 5.
Yeah, no. My dad, like, he's not a doctor, but he's a doctor at the same time. He prescribes me like.
Oh, he's so funny, man.
Yeah. And then Ned, the other athlete, he got stung.
The beast thing on his eye.
He got stung on the head, and he had allergic reaction to that, so he was pretty sick.
Oh man.
It's a pretty good comp though.
Yeah.
So you took it out.
The results are yeah.
Sarah was an underdog leading in, and she won as well. So
that was crazy. Yeah, it was like that was quite controversial though when I just celebrated at the top. That was there was no malice intention. It was just like I know this overwhelming feeling because I'd seen that he'd slipped, and so in my mind he'd fallen off the wall completely. So when I got to the top, I don't know why I should have hit the buzzer. I regret it heaps, but I just look back and I celebrate. I see this guy coming up the wall. I was like, oh shit, I gotta hit the buzzer. And
I just emoted on.
Yeah, I love it. It looks so bad, but I promise I didn't intend it to be like that. I regret that. Sorry, Hayden. You're the bro.
I was watching that run. Everyone had their hands on their heads.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty sick comp. Like, I loved that comp as well. I ran my first sub 7 there. It's still my PR today. I haven't PR'd since then. And it was like ages ago.
Hey, because you've done too much dodging recently.
Yeah, but too much dodging. But I'm going to do some emoting if I think I'm going to win as well in the dodging. Like, in the air, just do some bicep flexes at, like, the dudes.
You better give me a shout out when you do it.
Yeah, give me a shout out. But I wanted to go through the comps just because I didn't think everyone knows what you had to do to get to qualify for the Olympics.
Mm.
You know, we had 2-month stretch of getting clapped at Youth Worlds, getting clapped at a World Cup.
We got our asses handed to ourselves a lot before any success came, yeah, for sure.
And then getting better in Korea next year, and then Europe running sub 6, and then becoming world champ. And qualifying, like, there's quite a steep progression there.
Yeah, everything happened real fast. Like, even from just when we finished doing like our first year on the program to then qualifying for the Olympics, all happened so fast.
Yeah, and obviously I don't think anyone else has had such a steep progression in speed climbing. I don't know anyone else who's...
No, I don't know either.
Who you went from like 7.6 to 5.1 now in 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, I think a big part of it's discipline, obviously, and I want you to like go through like a daily routine of like food, sleep. I know you're doing the red glasses thing now. I still don't understand it. You can like talk me through that as well. Training, like what's like an average week,
Yeah, I mean, we train on the wall basically every afternoon. It's every other day in the morning in the gym, so it's basically training every single day. The sleep, I try and get to bed around 9 so that I fall asleep around 9:30 and then wake up at 6 for training in the morning. Nutrition wise, it's gotten a lot better. It was just like Vegemite on toast or like Wheat Bix to now like
that's still me.
Which like it still is like kind of fine, but my nutritionist has told me you got to have like dairy with that, and then so I have yogurt now as well. Sometimes and I'll have bananas and all that. Have like a smoothie during the day. I've got to hit I think it's 2 grams per kilo of your body weight, so I'm trying to hit like 140 kg or 140 grams of protein every single day.
Yep.
And the routines, like the glasses, like you mentioned, the recovery, all that, it's all part of like this concept of being 1% better every day. So every little thing I do between comps is something that someone else isn't doing and is making me that much better, right? So as much as it is annoying sometimes, or like people make fun of you all the time for wearing the glasses, I still, completely honest, don't really know what they do, but what Bob says I do, so he told me to wear them, I wore them.
Yeah, trusting the process.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is hard to do, obviously, and sometimes is a bit frustrating, but it's just what you got to do, I guess.
Yeah. Now I remember my dietary plan. Man, I was just trying to hit heaps of bacon and eggs, tuna and rice twice a day.
That's OP. Tuna and rice and chalky milk. People don't realize how optimal that actually is.
Yeah, chalky milk. Like one summer, I would have 2 liters of chalky milk every day.
I remember that, bro. People don't believe you.
No, I did.
Nobody believes you that you did that.
Shout out to Zorbroderer. I was working there, and
just sculling chalky milk like it was nothing. How much protein is in one of those?
Like the 2 liter tanks.
Yeah.
It's like 88 grams.
So already that's like half of the protein you need just in one.
I get it in like 20 minutes.
That's crazy, and it's so good. It's just so easy to.
As you can see, I'm skinny. Oh, this lighting might help.
Yeah, growth flex.
Yeah. But I think there's a great deal of consistency across the 3 years of.
Yep.
Like, the typical teenage things, like, you're 20 now, started at 17, through that phase, a lot of people enjoy the partying, drinking and all that, and it's just something that you can't really do.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, obviously there are opportunities and stuff. And
Yeah, like celebrations and
yeah,
all that.
yeah. Should we mention career or
Yeah.
no? I don't really want to.
Well, one time Julian had a great time. After like a world, is it like he won youth worlds? And, yeah, it's a good party.
That was my one day party era.
Yeah, but yeah, great deal of consistency with like taking away those temptations, and even the off season's not that long. Like what, we have a month off.
Yeah,
you guys have a month off.
Yeah, it'd be like half of November and December, and then you're back into it start of Jan.
Yeah, like through the Olympic off season, you didn't have like.
Well, the worst part about that was I didn't even know if I was going yet. So like I'd qualified, but it's one thing qualifying and another thing to get selected. So the Olympic committee had us all on our toes. Rob was doing heaps of stuff behind the scenes to like, you basically have to prove your case as to why you go because they have limited spots, right? So they choose very specifically certain athletes, and obviously the case that Rob had put together, which he worked like super hard on, they loved. Apparently, all of them loved it. And then we finally got accepted. Oh, the call was like crazy. Like when I finally got, it was like such a relief. Because I got home from training one day. Rob, he was away doing something, maybe a coach's course, and he calls me. And he was like, "Hi, you alone?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Bro, you did it. You qualified." And I was like, "What?" I just broke down. I just fell to the floor and started crying. I was like, "That's crazy." Like Olympics at 19, I couldn't believe it. At the time, I was 18 as well. I was 18 when I qualified, 18 when I got the call, 19 when I went. But yeah, that was just, I couldn't believe it. Parents as well were pretty over the moon, as you can imagine.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, that was surreal, man. That was crazy.
Yeah, I remember Sarah coming in real chirpy one time, and she doesn't come in chirpy that often.
Ever. Unless she's had a cup of coffee, she's not happy.
And then she's like, "Oh, we did it," but it was like 3 days or 4 days after you got it, or maybe a week after you got the call, and we're like, "Oh man, it's so crazy to hear.
Yeah.
You guys are qualified."
Yeah.
And then, yeah, did you guys have an off season? I can't remember.
Have an off season?
Tiny.
Yeah. It wasn't really.
Yeah.
Because we were still kind of training because we didn't know whether we had to keep training because we're going to go to the Olympics or not. Yeah. So we just banked on the fact that we were and just kept training anyway. Yeah.
Because that summer was the summer I started dodging. This guy put together my first edit of Suicide Rock.
Yeah, that was sick, man.
Yeah, and that's what put me on the map.
That did well.
Yeah.
That was I probably only had 2,000 followers at that point as well, to be honest, but it did real well. I was psyched with that. Yeah, I got 100,000 views on my first. I only downloaded Instagram because I started jumping. Yeah. I didn't have any socials. We were all trying to convince him. He was like, no, it's not good for you. This bet with was it Cody you had to bet with?
First one to get it, had to pay $100. Paid $100. But
boy.
I didn't want it because of the scrolling factor and
all the stuff you hear about it.
And it happened to me. I scrolled. I've had to replace it with Clash of Clans as well.
Oh, really?
So I can, instead of scrolling through jumps, I'll play Clash of Clans.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a good summer.
Yeah. What was your PR when you first started dodging? What was the first high thing you'd done?
Yeah, so 1st of January was New Year's. We saw you there.
Yeah.
I jumped the green building, which is signature jump in McLaren's, and then I dodged the square rock, which is 11 meters, and that was that's when I say I started dodging, because it was my first ever
above 10 meters.
Above 10 meters. Before that, I didn't really do much dodging at all. So I'd definitely say that was a start. And then Suicide Rock was maybe a month later, and that was 17 meters. And then
that was so hype though when you did that. That was crazy. To me, I was like, that's the speed wall. That's higher than the speed wall.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And it's called Suicide Rock.
No. We were all there because we had the big goose.
I was nervous as though when I was down there filming. That was crazy.
Yeah.
You seemed like you're in there for ages. The hang time on that was ridiculous.
But now it's a baby.
now it's your bitch.
I actually asked Matt if he wanted to come film me jump it this morning just for a casual jump. Yeah, but he was busy. But yeah, it was cool that summer. Did you do any World Cups before the Olympics?
Yep. So we had the China at the start of the year. That was the first comp of the season, and then we skipped Salt Lake, which you guys went to, and then we used the 2 European ones, which was Chamonix and Briançon, as like lead-in comps for the Olympics.
Trying to win well, eh? You did pretty good. Ran like 5.4.
No, I almost did. So it would have been a PB.
Yeah, I remember that.
I hit the pad, and I didn't realize they had mics at the top of the wall now. And like, you can't swear or you'll get like a red card basically, or like a yellow card, like a warning.
This now.
And I was like, oh fuck. And they told me that they could hear it on the live stream and they weren't going to give me anything for it. But like, they heard it and they're like, well, you got to settle down, you know, like, we understand, but like, you can't be doing that. And I was like, yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I remember Rob telling me that he had to like be like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I remember because I was up late because it was like 1 a.m. for us,
yeah.
And I was just like cracking up laughing. He's like, oh fuck.
It would have been like, it would have been a PB. I think my PB that I set at the Nationals then was like 5.6, and this was like the next comp after Nationals, and it would have been a 5.4, but I missed the pad.
Yeah.
That was gutting.
There's the same wall that we competed on like 4 weeks ago.
Yep.
No, I love that wall.
That was a groupie wall, yeah.
It was a pretty good venue. And there was just a one-off standalone, came back. Then me, Ned, Abby, Georgia went to Salt Lake. That was okay. I did a freezing Dodds there. Like Ned does Dodds as well.
Yeah.
Man, we drove through snow. Bro, we were committed. Like an hour through snow. Crossed a highway. Went for like a 3K walk to the 17-meter spot.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Dang.
Yeah. No,
oh, shoot. I didn't realize it was such a mish to get
It was
there.
a mish. Like getting home as well. Like we had to walk like 5K to a petrol station and all that.
Jeez.
But like the jump itself, it's freezing, bro. And then I lost Papes' rock. I had to go depth check. Jump in the water, Salt Lake City. I thought there was crocodiles. I was freaking out.
Jeez.
I was depth checking, and then I'm like, Ned, it's good. I'm coming up. And he's like, nah, stay down there. I was in the water shivering, and then he nearly fucks it up. Like, he does the most awful 360 I've ever seen.
Oh, I remember that now. He's like kicking in the
Does a running man mid-air to stop himself from spinning.
Oh,
nearly lands on me. And then I got to go up, freezing for my Dodds as well.
Yeah.
Pop a quick gainer, get out. Oh, bro, our hands were like just shit.
There's the things you don't know behind the scenes, because to me it looked funny and cold. That was it. I was like, double tap.
It was the greatest cup of Milo I've ever had.
Oh, really?
Oh man, we got back to the hotel and like everyone was there just like, bro, you guys are crazy. Like it was just really? Snowing outside.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the comp was good as well. I forgot to mention.
Ned did. I remember watching this actually. I was in my room watching him. He did his first ever sub-7.
Yeah, bro.
That was crazy.
Ned Latman, shout out to him. He's super strong. Hit his first 27-meter Dodds a couple of weeks ago. That was sick.
Which you reckon's like probably top 2 in Oceania.
Yeah.
It'd be up there.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, bro. He's sending in both disciplines.
Yeah.
Big man. And then after Salt Lake, you made your first finals, that's right.
Yeah. So I did Chamonix and I did 5.4 there, just redemption for China. And I don't know, there was like this barrier where for a while I couldn't break sub 5.4, and then miraculously in Briançon, perfect time to do it. Right before the Olympics, I qualified 11th heading into finals and did a 5.25 or 6 second run. And that was like a huge PB for me. I was like so stoked with that. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Then,
great confidence heading into the Olympics.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That was sick.
And then you didn't quite win the first race, eh?
Nah, so the way it works is wherever you qualify heading into finals, the first will versus 16th person, second, 15th, so on. And it's knockout. And I was versing Liang Zhang, who, for people who don't know, he's an insane speaker. He's known as like the god of speed and speed climbing, basically. Liang Zhang.
Is he Chinese?
Anyway, quick as, yeah, he's Chinese. He's quick as. And he did a 5.0 and I did a 5.3, so for me it was like fine. It was like still faster than 5.4. But that was cool, first World Cup finals, and good experience. He slipped his next run, so that was a bit annoying. He couldn't do that against me, but whatever. Yeah. And then, the Olympics.
Right, yeah. How was like getting to the Olympics? Like, did it just feel like crazy being there, like as soon as you arrive in the village?
Yeah, definitely. The first thing you see though is just this massive USA building. It's just so obnoxious.
Really?
Yeah, you
I
walk
didn't
in,
even know that.
the first thing is just this massive USA building. It's so obnoxious. But obviously they got all the best athletes, right? So I guess it is what it is. Yeah, so we arrived in the second week of the Olympics, so it was kind of like things were already underway, stuff had already happened. The opening ceremony we'd watched on TV, we didn't go to that. And it's just because they can't fit as many athletes in, because they have like the New Zealand team house, we have our own apartment basically with all the athletes, some have to leave for us to go in. So I think it was the sevens guys that left for us to go in. And yeah, that was pretty cool. We got introduced and they did the potangata and everything, the haka for us.
And you saw Wemby.
Yeah, oh bro, the dining hall when I went for dinner, I was minding my own business, walking down, I was like, oh, that's some cool food over there, there's a cool person over there. And then Wemby just walks past and I don't even reach his chest, bro. He's
Did you speak
massive.
French to him?
No, I was too scared, bro. I just said hello, I just said what's up and that was it.
You say hello back?
Yeah.
Oh, he said hello back.
Oh yeah, that was my yell. He's a cool cat.
See,
Yeah,
Yama would have been crazy.
that was crazy. He's massive, he's huge.
Yeah, I wanted to, if I made it, I would have just searched for LeBron, eh?
They weren't staying there. You can't stay there as LeBron. Right, none of the US team could stay there. Imagine trying to get. I don't even know why
No, that's
Wemby was
true.
there. You couldn't even eat. You couldn't function there. I'm pretty sure they bought out like a high school or like something nearby and just stayed there. Like the beds, there's no way they're fitting on that, and they're rock solid. Like we
You didn't enjoy it, eh?
Bro, we could have slept on the floor and it would have been the same because the fishnet foam, which I didn't realize until the last day, was like interchangeable and had different softnesses and stuff. But it was all so hard. Like it was all basically the same. It was like just sleeping on the cardboard.
Okay, so the main reason why it was hard for you guys to qualify because was the number of beds, right?
Yeah.
So if you paid for your own accommodation, would have they allowed it?
I don't think so. I think you have to stay in there. It's just the basketball team for USA is obviously so famous and popular and rich, so they can just do what they want. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Olympics, you did like really well.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You ran a PR again.
Literally couldn't have asked for anything better. Yeah, whipped it out at the perfect time.
Beat the Irani.
Yeah,
God.
former world champ. Reza did a 5.20, which for me was the PB, and he did a 5.26, so beat him by 0.06 of a second.
Yeah, to make it through to the next round.
Yeah, to make it through the next round.
Damn. And that wall was amazing.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. That's the best wall I've ever been on.
Yeah, massive. Yeah, that crowd would have been like 40,000, eh?
No, actually, that was really small. It was just the way they laid it out that made it look like there was heaps of people. I think it was max, they were capped out at like 6 or something thousand people, but it's just the way they laid them out, like right there facing the wall. Yeah. Everyone was like super close. And they'd trained the crowd. I didn't realize they did this, but they trained the crowd before we went out to be like silent when the buzzer go, because when the beeps happen, which is our signal to start climbing, there's like, you can't have any noise, otherwise anything can like throw you off or whatever. So the whole crowd was going crazy when they were cheering, like calling your name out, and you got to the line, and then as soon as I said, at your marks, the whole thing just silent, like quiet as, which was weird, because it was like so loud you couldn't even hear yourself talk, right? And then it goes completely silent.
Wow.
And what I didn't realize is how long we were standing, like once we'd been clipped in, before we actually told to, get ready and go to our marks. It was so long. I think like a minute at least, which is a long time standing in front of 6,000 people before doing like a really important race, right? Like that was crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that atmosphere would have been so crazy. Yeah, going dead silent.
And then as soon as the beeps go, you don't really hear anything, because I was like such in that like flow state. And then when I hit the buzzer and then you hear the roar, it's like holy moly! Like I didn't even know how to react really. I can't even tell you what I did. I went crazy though. I was like, yeah. I didn't swear this time. And I didn't stop at the top to celebrate either.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I would have been in Norway at the time, I'm pretty sure. I would have watched on there. Yeah, it was a super hyped moment. Sarah did pretty well as well. She got a PR.
I think so.
Yeah, Sarah was the other Kiwi female from Oceania that went.
Yep, I think she struggled a lot more though with like the wind up to it. I don't want to like speak for her or anything, but I think she struggled a bit more with that whole environment. So, which is fair enough. Like it's a huge deal. Like the Olympics is crazy. Like no one really notices obviously what it's like in the lead up to, or I guess our journeys are very different anyway. But her journey would have been even more crazy and surreal.
I couldn't imagine the amount of pressure. And then Sarah's also been in the game for like 11 years.
Yeah, she went to Youth Worlds as well in Buenos Aires 2018.
Youth Olympics.
Youth Olympics, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so she's already done Olympics. She's been competing in the circuit like for ages, doing boulder and lead as well.
Yep.
She's been doing awesome.
Yep.
She's currently got a sore finger at the moment, eh?
Yeah, her lumbrical's got a bit of issues, so I mean, hopefully we see her back as soon as possible and in Europe, but it's not looking likely, so we'll see how it goes.
So you're climbing fast again soon, hopefully.
Yep.
And then the Olympics, and then you did one more World Cup after that.
Yep, in Korea.
And I want you to talk about why you guys did it, because I know there was like a specific reason, like surrounding the Olympics and the post psychology around it.
Yeah, so obviously after doing so well, it's so hard to peak again because we basically had a year to prepare for the Olympics. It's so hard to try and peak again and do well at a competition. So basically it was just for us to, one, do another competition, but also, I guess, Korea's a cool place as well though. Like I like going there. Maybe if it was somewhere I didn't like as much, I would have contemplated not going. But it was just, I guess it was good to do in the sense of getting used to what it's going to be like for the next 4 years competing, doing World Cups as well, because for me it felt like nothing. Like it felt even less than nationals. Like there was no hype around it or anything at all.
Yeah, did you like that or not like that?
No, I hated it because the pressure, there was none. I didn't feel any pressure. I didn't do that well, frankly. I slipped on both my runs. So I was like, basically, look, what the fuck is this? Like I was expecting, not the Olympics obviously, but more pressure and yeah, exactly.
Did many of the other Olympians go?
Sam did.
Did he win?
No. Not all of them, but I think a couple did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting the post Olympics thing, the high, because I would argue you guys pretty much trained for it for the past 3 years.
Technically,
because like that was the whole reason our program started.
Was to get to Paris. Yeah.
For it to end, like that would have been quite a mental battle.
It's just like setting new goals, I guess. Now, like for me, it's sub-5 is the new goal. Trying to get 4
so that's
sevens.
the main one over like comp placings, or you got like I know you really wanted to make finals in Bali, which he was 0.08 seconds off. So like.
Basically, the amount I bet Reza by is how much I missed out on making finals by.
Like no time. You can't even tap it on a phone. Like
how fast it is, yeah.
But sub-5 is a big one.
Yeah, that would be probably a big goal. And like a podium, stuff like that. Just being in contention, making finals consistently would be the goal. And
as soon as you make finals, like
being in podium contention.
Yeah, going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing actually was leading into the Olympics. My expectation was never to make finals. It was just to do a PB and do as good as I can. But now there's like the pressure has changed a lot. To now you can make finals. It's just a matter of actually doing it. And now it's changed from can I make finals to I know I can make it. How far can I go now? I feel like it changes a lot once you can make finals. So I just got to figure out how to work around that a bit better, I guess.
Yeah. Like for people that don't know, spear climbing is such a mental sport. You are on the wall for a lot faster than me. So like
5 seconds.
5 seconds. Like the margin for error is so small. Like one slip and you're nearly out pretty much.
Well, you are.
Yeah. Well, in finals there's a bit more leeway because other people can slip.
Which is why I love finals.
Yeah, but in quals, if you make a mistake, you're pretty much out.
Yeah.
And then you got your second qual, but it's very mental sport. So
yeah.
And like to fly to a destination
for only 6 seconds of competing, basically.
It's like very mentally draining. So it's very like crazy what all these athletes do. See, I got a little bit more leeway. I do it in 6 to 7 seconds. So I got a bit more time. So I get to enjoy it for another 2 more seconds.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but how do you find, like, we don't have too much longer, but how do you find like the social side of it? You got all these other nations, meet heaps of other people.
Yeah, I love it because the climbing culture is so good. Like all of them are so friendly.
Yeah.
Like everyone's so cool. And then when you go to Indonesia and climb in an environment like that with all the other nations as well, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, when we were in Jakarta and everyone was just training together, he'd say a prayer at the start and then just do a whole lot of racing.
Have a 6-ish, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome and like very cheap.
Yeah, oh my god, it's cheap in Indonesia, holy.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool to see everyone else's like training schedules and
Routines, their rituals, what they do.
yeah, I think a lot has changed. I know like people do like fingerboarding and like other stuff.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
I don't know if they do that now though.
No, it was something I heard that some of them had done previously, but I don't really hear of it anymore.
Yeah, and then just the final kind of questions is like this year you got Denver and you're leaving like 5 days. You said.
Yep.
That'll be the first speed comp in Denver, correct?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so psyched for that.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, I've been seeing your runs.
Yeah.
And can we disclose that you ran sub
5 already on overspeed.
On overspeed,
yeah.
okay, we say that. Yeah. That was,
so I'll be trying to get as close to that as possible. PB's obviously always the goal, but
yeah, well, I always thought like if I ran a time on overspeed, I could usually run it in a competition.
I found the same as well.
Yeah, so well, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We'll see how the adrenaline hits this time.
Yeah. And then we got the European comps and Poland's first.
Yep, Poland and then Chamonix.
Chamonix. I was going to try and get the Chamonix. I'm going to be over competing soon in Norway and France as well for the Dodsing.
Yep.
And then we all meet in China at the end, or you come home.
Yeah, I'll go home and train for a little bit and then go.
Go to China, and then I'll meet them in China after all the comps and all that.
That'll be interesting, World Games. I'm interested to see how similar it is to like the Olympics, because they're kind of claiming it's just like the step down from the Olympics. Like I don't think it'll be as big, but it's like all those sports that aren't Olympic sports basically are in it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's paid for, so we get free accommodation, free food.
Yep, and it'll be the first time that relays are introduced into a competition with like everyone basically.
Yeah, I'm so glad it's only 2 people. I was saying this on the way over. Less pressure for me. We've got Julian and Ned representing in the relays. I'll just do the individual.
That'll be a good time. It'll be sick.
Yeah.
Cool.
We got our gym coach coming over. Kaz. Heaviest speed climber in the world, 100 kilos, 110.
Yeah.
He was 110.
105.
105.
Yeah, he's the heaviest speed climber that can go sub 10 and is over 100 kgs. That's a world record in its own, I reckon. That's crazy.
160.
That's crazy. He can run sub 10 on a speed wall. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah, it'd be sick to have him come though.
Yeah. And then last one is World Champs, Korea, right?
Yep.
And then you get some fun time. After that, you get to do some dods.
Yeah, it'll be time off.
I'll be taking him to McLaren's, so you'll see him do some jumps.
Yeah. We'll
Sorry,
see.
Rob. Yeah, I won't do that. But yeah, that's it. I think.
Sweet.
Thanks, Rob.
Sure. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, good buzz.
Oh, goodbye. Shout out.
Shout out.